The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TVWAN News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, Menin highlights community policing benefits, no proper data system in place, and Hekari qualifies for OFC. Police Commissioner David Menin said the bilateral security treaty signed between PNG and Australia will strengthen the capacity of the RPNGC and other security agencies to stop the illegal movement of drugs and guns in and out of the country. The government has recognized that securing our borders is a major challenge. PNG is thankful that the Australian government is helping with securing its borders.
Police Commissioner David Menin said border security is a major challenge for PNG, with international criminals seeking to use PNG for transporting drugs into Australia and for the smuggling of weapons from Australia into PNG. Providing security at PNG's borders is difficult and will require commitment, including adequate resources for security and law enforcers. With the bilateral security treaty signed in Canberra this week, PNG will see an increase in joint operations between police and other law enforcement agencies in both countries and enhanced sharing of relevant information. Recent reports have indicated that PNG's border security threats are linked to illegal activities, such as drugs and weapon smuggling. Commissioner Manning said the bilateral security treaty is a positive advancement for PNG. He said it is now a matter for the RPNGC to work with its security counterpart to finalize details for implementation. Commissioner Manning thanked his Australian counterparts for the way they have engaged in discussions at a policing level, adding that the RPNGC must work in delivering these improved support arrangements. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Menin has welcomed the bilateral security discussions between PNG and Australia, signalling that the treaty will improve the day-to-day safety and security for communities in Papua New Guinea. He said during discussions this week in Canberra, Australia has vowed to improve the security situation in PNG.
Police Commissioner David Manning said the bilateral security treaty signed between PNG and Australia this week in Canberra, Australia, will provide our police personnel skills to enhance transparency in the police force. He said Australia will help in the areas of ICT, forensic, AFP presence in provinces apart from Port Moresby and Lae, family sexual violence, border security, including training in the use of less than lethal force. The use of less than lethal force will see police train on how to deal with hostile situations using tasers and pepper spray in stopping a violent offender before stepping in to use firearm. Commissioner Manning said there will also be an upgrade and improvement in the ICT space to use digital technology in investigations and prosecutions. Police stations will now better exchange information on suspects, criminal gangs and other people trying to operate outside the law. He said the RPNGC cannot continue to rely on systems and processes that have not changed much since independence, and this includes the digitization of paper records and the creation of databases that can be accessed throughout the country. Manning also said that the bilateral agreement will enable the RPNGC to take our forensic capabilities to the next level to effectively process evidence that is presented in court. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
PNG Ports recently attended a 4-day training seminar hosted by the PNG Designated Authority and the United States Coast Guard. The seminar provided training on completing the ISPS audit and understanding the requirements of the ISPS Code, Merchant Shipping Act 1975 and Maritime Security Regulation 2013. The training aimed to ensure the safety and security of ships, ports, cargo, and crew members. Participants engaged in various activities designed to help identify security threats on board vessels and in port facilities, monitor port activity, and address other security-related aspects of ships, seafarers, ports, and port workers. The seminar welcomed representatives from local and regional port facilities security officers, and the water police. The training was part of the U.S. Coast Guard's International Port Security Program, which aims to provide assistance to countries in establishing effective security measures on port facilities to ensure the safety of their maritime transport system. The Department of Labor does not have current statistics of the rate of unemployment in the country, as there is no proper system in place to gather and store the information. Deputy Prime Minister and the Secretary for Labor and Industrial Relations recently addressed the issue. The Department of Labor does not have current statistics of the rate of unemployment in the country, as there is no proper system in place to gather and store the information. At a recent press conference, Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Minister for Labor, John Rosso, addressed this issue.
We're working on the statistics at the moment, and the unemployment rate is a huge concern for government. It is a huge concern for government, and government is looking at various ways to address it.
Secretary for Labor and Industrial Relations, George Taunakeke, says the reason for the lack of data is the lack of a proper system to store it.
I think one of the reasons for that not having the data available is that we don't have the systems in place to be able to collect the data, gather the data, and put it in a repository so that it is available when you need it to make decisions. So
Taunakeke says the department recently approved the Labor Market Information Policy. One of the strategies of this policy is to develop a database that captures all information relating to employment. This will rectify the lack of data currently on employment.
So we've taken steps as a department responsible for employment to develop a policy that will help us now systematically collect data on employment and be able to report it back in the appropriate way.
Deputy Prime Minister Rosso says by next year, the government should be able to start rolling out the census, which is critical for data planning in the country. This is TVWAN News. Stay tuned for more when we return.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
It's that time again! Scale Rise is giving you the chance to win some Scale School money for 2023. Over 220 winners. 4 fortnightly draws, that's 55 fortnightly winners. Cash prizes starting at 1,000 kina, 2,000 kina, 3,000 kina. They also have consolation prizes of 500 kina. Buy any Scale Rise or Ori Rise to enter the promotion for your chance to win the Scale School money. Terms and conditions apply. Scale Rise,
the Brain Changer.
Open net.
right across the nation. We eat snack crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Strong like you, smart like me.
I hope they don't break.
Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus shred. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
Welcome back. Chief Executive Officer of the Eastern Highlands Provincial Health Authority, Dr. Joseph Appa, proved wrong the general perceptions of CEOs, directors and managers enjoying the comfort of luxury offices and not going right down to assess the operations at ground level by making hospital rounds at Gorgo Provincial Hospital recently.
It is a general perception that CEOs and directors of health institutions only enjoy the comfort of the luxury offices and never do actual operation of touching those affected. Dispelling such perceptions in Eastern Highlands Provincial Health Authority CEO, Dr. Joseph Appa, and the Director for Curative Health Services, Dr. Kapiro Kendara, did the first visit to Goroka Provincial Hospital's inpatients accompanying the routine hospital ward rounds recently to see what health workers are doing as well as visiting the patients. Dr. Appa said the management under his leadership as CEO wanted to make some changes in 2023 in their operation, and so this is part of that plan. This was part of a decision made by the Provincial Health Authority in the recent executive meeting, that is to visit wards and other operation areas of the hospital weekly. Dr. Appa said by doing these visits, they expect to capture changes taking place among the workers and the patients in the hospital for the better. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
General volunteers and local health workers from YWAM Medical Ships Australia and Papua New Guinea are running mother and child health clinics in Mabuduwan in the South Fly District, Western Province. The team is administering immunizations, antenatal care, family planning, COVID-19 testing and vaccination services, HIV testing and health education. They are also screening a documentary, Beyond the Island, to break the stigma around HIV and AIDS. The patrol is in collaboration with the Western Provincial Health Authority and the Australian-funded AIHSS project. Walk for Love, a healthy city is an active city, launched today with almost 700 residents donning red t-shirts and gathering at 5:30 a.m. for the Walk and Yoga for Life 2023. The event, organized by NCDC Active City Development, kicked off the year's programs with a walk from Ella Beach to Sir Hubert Murray Stadium.
The Walk for Love is a great way for people of all ages to actively demonstrate support for the value of human life and a desire to make a difference in the lives of women, men, youth, and children in the community. Every walker helps NCDC and its program ACDP advance their mission of cultivating a community that values a healthy, happy, and safe life. Founder and director of ACDP, Fazila Bazari, was happy to acknowledge old and new faces on this 9th year of Walk and Yoga for Life. She gave special mention to the governor of NCD, Powers Pakop, for his support, as well as to communities and community leaders, sporting codes in weightlifting, boxing, and rugby nines reps, and Dr. Seville Husseinova, WHO country representative for Papua New Guinea. Governor Powers Pakop, returning to work after medical leave, shared his gratitude for being alive and reminded everyone of his 3 key learnings from his recent experience. The event was made even more enjoyable with energetic performances from Southside Crew, Poly Crew, and Sing Sing Group. Carol Kiru Jr., TV1 News.
To overseas, dozens of trucks carrying aid and relief supplies are being moved into northwest Syria after last week's catastrophic earthquake. The United Nations have admitted its immediate response to help people in the rebel-held area of Syria was lacking.
Well, these are trucks that are being loaded up with aid, going to be crossing here in Turkey over to northwest Syria. The border is just a few hundred metres down towards my right, and these trucks will be going to the hardest hit earthquake areas in the rebel-held parts of northwest Syria. We know that these international supplies are really desperately needed. We've seen what's being loaded up here today. It includes medical supplies. It includes food and water. We've seen kitchen equipment, sleeping equipment, basins for people to be able to wash their hands and body in, so sanitisation methods. All of this equipment and all of these supplies is now going over to be delivered into northwest Syria. It's crucial that this aid reaches there because there has been an extreme lack of aid and rescue support that has gone into that region since the earthquake struck last week. It's because northwest Syria is a rebel-held area. It's been involved in a civil war with the Syrian government for more than a decade, which has meant that getting aid into that area has been severely hampered because the Syrian government has been putting restrictions on who can go in there and what can go in there. So, for example, here in Turkey, we've seen thousands of rescuers come from across the world to provide support and rescue operations. That's just not physically possible. They're not physically allowed to go into northwest Syria. So it is crucial that this aid now goes in there.
When you have an earthquake at the scale of this crisis affecting two countries, the challenge is just, it's inconceivable really. Since we've been able to get trucks over, we've had 192 trucks go over.
Crucially, the United Nations has struck a deal with the Syrian government of Bashar al-Assad to allow more aid to go through not only the checkpoint that is right near us here, but two other checkpoints that have just been opened up within the last week. That should allow more aid to go in there for at least the next 6 months. The United Nations says they are desperately trying to ramp up the number of trucks that go through these checkpoints, but it will take some time, and they expect this sort of aid operation will continue for many months.
And that ends the news segment. Taking us to break now is the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people. When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Strong like you, smart like me.
I hope they don't break.
Now Choli Luki-san, this is Relaxo. Strong plus shred. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
We see you day in, day out, getting on with the job. Coming out on top because you're not one to back down. From the islands to islands, from the southern to the Momas. We see you, moving heaven and earth to move our country forward. And at the end of the day, we will be there to serve Papua New Guineans who achieve success with the reward they deserve.
Thanks for staying with us. In sports, a masterclass performance by the resurgent Yan Hekari United FC delivered 2 unanswered goals in the last quarter of yesterday's final leg of the OFC National League playoff against an equally strong NSL champions, Lae City FC, to qualify for the 8th Nation OFC Champions League in Vanuatu, May. Hekari's midfielder Yagi Yagasa was like a man possessed, starring in both home and away playoffs in Lae and Port Moresby.
Yesterday's big decider was a thriller that kept the fans guessing when both teams were left scoreless at half-time. As the match wore on into the second stanza, Lae City, led by PNG international Alvin Komanong, realizing it was do or die for them, had to dig deeper to counteract and met Hekari's tactics, energy and pace both in midfield and on the edges. Both teams looked clinical in attack and defense, at least for the best part of the half, until frustration started to creep in with a number of players on both sides yellow-carded by the match referee. Heading into the final quarter, the young Hekari outfit started to dictate terms to their more experienced opponents, using speed, skill and energy that kept play within Lae City's danger zone. Lae's midfielders and defenders got their work cut out for them. The injection of Lae's reject Yagi Yagasa into Hekari's attack literally changed the tempo of the game in Red's favor. Midfielder Yagasa, who scored in the first leg last week, pounced on a through ball in the 83rd minute to scramble the opening goal before Joseph Joe sealed the result with a tap 3 minutes from full time. The fatigue factor and frustrations contributed to Lae's demise, allowing Hekari to easily find the back of the net in back-to-back fashion to seal the deal in their favor, very much to the relief of their loyal fans. After the match, losing coach Bob Morris accepted the defeat, saying his boys defended well, but fatigue took the better of them in the end.
I accept the fact that this season was too long, but that's how it is. We have to put up to, well, let's play football anyway. So, but I think last 5 or 10, fatigue build up, and I think the one goalkeeper came out and made a move, so that opened a scoring chance for them. So, but otherwise we held them most part of the game.
Hekari will now represent PNG at the Eight-Nation OFC League Championship in Vanuatu in May this year. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The PNG Hunters got their first taste of full body contact footy yesterday before they host the visiting Central Queensland Capras in a trial match confirmed for Saturday at the Santos National Football Stadium. The Hunters trial matches were organised and played using the tri-series format. Hunters played Port Moresby Vipers in the first half and then played out the second half against Gulf Iso.
While Hunters head coach Stanley Teppen and assistant Paul Ayton watched from the sideline, yesterday's trials gives them a better perspective of players' skill level, how they work through their set pieces in attack and their defensive system. Likewise, game structure and staying consistent under fatigue was also crucial, especially competing at the QRL level.
Even though we've lost some notable players, but look, we've trained hard over the last few months, so we trust the boys that we have to step up. They've been together for a few months now, so but there's a couple of experience. We haven't lost all experienced guys there, but on the field, experience counts for a little bit. But everybody, it's a team game, so everybody has to do their part the best they can.
Yesterday's tri-series was a real tester for the new-look Hunters spine in Joshua Mire, Jamie Mavoko and Weza Tensa controlling play at the helm. The Hunters forwards, led by Henry Wan, Ila Alu, Junior Rob and Epel Capinias, showed glimpses of how dangerous they can be in attack and muscling up in their defense as well. The Hunters' center pairing of versatile Benji Court and Brandon Nima looked sharp in patches with the ball in hand, and obviously it's a work in progress to strengthen and better their partnership as the new season looms. Teppen would use the tri-series to pick his first 17 for Saturday's warm-up match against CQ Capras. Despite the sudden departure of Hunters trio Waratol Poira Jr., Francis Cambis and Joe Frank to join new franchise EMK Sipik Pride, the team is somewhat depleted. However, the return of Roderick Tai, Shevan Tanabi and Judah Rimbo from the Dolphins has again boosted the Hunters pack before they face Capras on Saturday. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the news tonight. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow. And exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Have a top week ahead. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.